People move to Italy for different reasons, but there is usually one underlying sense that life in Italy is going to improve your existence in some way. Whether it's because you are going to experience a different way of life, a different pace of life, or something that is going to help you to appreciate life even more. When I first moved to Italy in 2018, I definitely believed that life here would make me happy. I mean, why wouldn't I? I had experienced Italy a couple of times before leading up to my move, and I felt so happy being here, with the weather, the people, the pace of life, just everything I experienced up until that point made me feel like my life would be happy in this country. Let me tell you, I have cried in Italy. I have had a breakdown in Italy. I felt pretty low in Italy. I have been stressed in Italy. This is the reality. Italy as a country is not going to make you happy. Only you can do that. Now, people don't like to hear this. People like to believe that a new experience in a new country is going to be the solution to all of their problems. Now, I know a lot of you are based in America, and I see your comments on my channels telling me about the terrible situations that you're going through in your country at the moment in different areas. I will say to you, though, that there will be improvements that you will make to your life, absolutely, by moving to Italy. But there will also be aspects of your life that become more challenging as well. Italy is not the answer to your problems. You alone are. Because you see, happiness is a personal responsibility. And yet far too often in life, we place that responsibility on external things. This is how addictions begin. Sugar addictions, shopping addictions, even drug and alcohol addictions. They begin by somebody trying to find happiness in external pursuits. But really, happiness begins inside of you. When you realize that you have more control over your life than you ever thought possible. I remember reading about the concept of the circle of influence in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And in this book, he talks about there being a circle of influence and then an external circle around it. In life, you need to focus on your circle of influence because they are the aspects of life that you have direct control over. Everything else fits in the outer circle. And those aspects, unfortunately, are what people tend to fixate on. People get stressed about the politics. People get stressed about the levels of crime. People get stressed about working conditions. However, those aspects of life are things that you have very little to zero control over. And so fixating on those, talking about those, obsessing about those, stressing about those isn't going to change a damn thing. The only thing that is going to change are the things within your circle of influence, and they can be connected to what is in your outer circle. For example, if you're stressed about your working conditions, what is within your circle of influence is what you are going to do about that next. Are you going to find a new job? Are you going to train and take a different skill and perhaps, change careers altogether? Are you going to perhaps find a way to improve your working environment? Maybe adopting a different mindset and approach to the way that you work, thinking about things in a different way. If you're stressed about politics, you cannot change the political system of your country, however much you might wish you could. So what is within your circle of influence? How much news you choose to consume about the politics in your country. Is it useful for you to continuously consume news stories that are only going to make you feel stressed and only going to make you feel more desperate to leave your country and to start a new life? Is that really helping you? Also, you need to consider, what steps can I take? Are there petitions that I can sign? Is there any kind of action that I can take in conjunction with legitimate organisations that can help to raise the concerns that we have about a particular political issue? What is within your circle of influence connected to what is in your outer circle? And this is the thing that's really, really important. And this is what people get confused by and don't really perform in life. People fixate too much on what is outside of their circle of influence, and as a result, they feel really despondent and they look to external things to make them feel happy. When you are in control of your life, you feel a great deal of satisfaction. You start to view your life less as being something that destiny gave you and more as being something that you can design. Now, when I first moved to Italy, as I've said already, I believed that Italy would be the answer to all of my problems. I was close to burnout. I wasn't particularly happy with my life at that point in the UK, and I was ready for something different. But let me tell you, Italy did not bring me the golden ticket to a better life. I had to bring that to myself, because the way that I improved myself was when I really did the work on myself. I credit all of that personal development work that I did to improve my mindset for the reason that I'm sitting here today, the woman that I am today. And it's personal responsibility. It's the one thing, again, that people don't often take enough of, because it's far easier to blame somebody else for your life looking a bit shit than it is to admit that maybe there's more that you could do. So this video is like having a cold shower. I want you to watch this video and I want you to really be honest with yourself as to why you want to move to Italy and how you are viewing your life in Italy if you are already here. If you are giving Italy this huge responsibility of making you happy, you're going to become very disappointed, because not everyone here in Italy is happy. There are many things that stress people out in this country. Italy doesn't run in the way that it should a lot of the times. You know, there are many things that are unjust in this country. So it's not going to be the solution to all of your problems in the way that you might think it will be. You will learn a lot and you will grow and you will change. But it all comes back down to how you are going to approach your life here, the things that you are going to do, the benefit and gain that you want to receive from your experience in Italy. That's where the happiness comes from, not from the country itself, not from the external things that you have zero control over. People love the food here in Italy. They say, oh, the food makes me feel really happy. But what happens if you go to a restaurant and somebody serves you a meal that tastes absolutely disgusting? Doesn't make you happy anymore, right? It's this. Stop placing your happiness in the hands of external situations. Start making it be more about yourself, what's going on inside of yourself, how you can be more in control of your situation. If food makes you happy, start cooking more. Be more in control of that aspect of your life. You know, if you enjoy a different pace of life and a different culture, then embrace everything that you experience here, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That is where happiness comes from. And people become disillusioned here because they move here, placing this huge responsibility in the hands of Italy to give you happiness, and are unwilling or kind of blind to the fact that it's themselves alone that can create the happiness, not something external. External sources of happiness are quick fixes. They are not long lasting and they do not sustain you throughout all of your life. Whereas if you do the work within yourself and you start being very specific about the things that are within your circle of influence and what you have direct control over, and you're very mindful and intentional about the way that you live your life, I can almost promise you that you will experience happiness here in Italy. The disillusionment comes from people who come here and then life doesn't live up to their expectations. Things move at a slower pace here. People say one thing, but they really mean another. Working conditions are not what you may have expected. And all of a sudden, they become resentful to Italy, when really it was because perhaps within their own circle of influence, they just didn't do enough research, or they're not doing enough to try to adapt their lives to embrace this new experience. So if you're thinking of moving to Italy, or you are currently living here in Italy, I want you to remember this. Italy is not going to make you happy, but you are. And the lessons that you learn from your life in Italy is only going to add to that if you have the right mindset and if you're truly concentrating on what is within your circle of influence and on building your own life. I will see you in the next video.